Glenn Wilson, President and CEO of Communities First, Inc., along with Essence Wilson, co-founder of Communities First, Inc. We're so excited to be here with you to talk kind of about just our end of year. I can't believe, Essence, that this year has went by so fast. I mean, it just seems like, it was literally just February the other day. And to see the organization and how we have grown, the things that we have done. Like our theme this year was small things make a big difference. And so each week, as a team, we end our meeting saying small things make a big difference. And we can say that a lot of small things added up to a lot of big things this year. So as you think about this year overall, what is like some of the favorite, I guess some of your highlights for you or favorites that kind of stick out with you with the organization this year?
Yeah, there have been honestly a lot of favorite moments for me this year. One, just seeing the expansion and the growth of our team and seeing people filling roles and doing really good work, excelling at their jobs and making our impact greater as an organization. I've always loved the Culture Shock program. Absolutely one of my favorites, where we get to take families to different events and activities. I think we had about 90 kids and adults who went skiing with us this year. Mm-hmm. Many of them, most of them for the first time. Right. I didn't get a chance to get out there this year, but I have been told that I'm a natural. So 2024, I'm back out there on the slopes for sure. And then, we did a program with the Detroit Rowing Club where we got to teach kids and adults how to row. Not a sport that many think about, but certainly was super cool to be out there on the river, rowing, exercising. It was a great workout and then a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, Glenn, what are some of your favorite moments?
I mean, you got me to think about just the rowing one real quick. I mean, that was the one when we were out with Representative Young on the water, and then the storm kind of came in real quick, and then we were like, oh, we got to get off the water, and we were rowing,
row your boat.
Yeah, row your boat in the barge that won't sink though, to get out of the water, and then as soon as we got back to safety, it stopped raining, the sun came back out, and then the next group was able to go out in beautiful weather. So that was a funny story. However, I mean, there's a few things that come to mind, and I think people are always unique, but like right now, like we're sitting on the previous campus of Baker College that we acquired here recently. And when you were talking about the expansion of our team, we've been at the 415 West Court Street address for a number of years, and we never thought we were going to be growing out of that place anytime soon. And so, we were at the point where we had staff where we were talking to them and we were hearing other people's conversations. Yeah. or we're on a meeting with someone else and somebody's on the video meeting and you're hearing somebody else's meeting that's happening next to them. It was like, oh man, this is like becoming an issue. All these co-working spaces are filled, the conference room was always booked. There are some great opportunities for us to use this campus in many ways. Affordable housing, job training, letting other small businesses and other nonprofit organizations use the campus as well. So I am very excited about that. The other thing that I can say that I was excited about is seeing some of the work that we've been doing just in our real estate as a whole. We've had a lot of different things as far as like we've received some funding to rehab some of our properties in Detroit. We have a property in Indiana that we've been working on that we got some funding for this year that we're able to rehab. So, I mean, when you see this about our goal of like really in our mission of empowering people, building communities, but, building these healthy, vibrant places, we can't do that without support. And I would even say this year we had some great partners that have come alongside of us that weren't partners previously that we've been talking to for a number of years. And so I know sometimes it gets discouraging to, nonprofit organizations, especially leaders in general, that, you feel like you talk to some funders over and over and over and over and over again, and it gets very discouraging. But to see, some of these new partners that come alongside of us this year to kind of help provide us some more bandwidth so we can get some more things done has been crucial to some of the success that we have had this year.
Yeah. And honestly, at the core of our work, we want to do what you just said, which is our motto, empowering people and building communities. And there are a lot of ways that we do that. We have 3 pillars of our work: equitable real estate development, economic mobility, and engaged communities. And now we have the opportunity to hear from some other members of our team about some of our additional successes and accomplishments.
Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Glenn Wilson, President and CEO of Communities First, Inc., sitting here with Mike Wright, our Vice President of Real Estate Development. Mike, we've had a very unique year. A lot of things going on with our real estate team. This is one thing I think that we were founded on is real estate. Not I think, but one thing I know we were founded on was, doing real estate development, providing good quality, affordable housing. And so it's always unique to hear from perspectives of people on the team who's helping drive the work. And so what we wanted to do is just kind of get your perspective on a few things this year as far as, how are things going? And so right now, just with affordable housing and what we've been seeing, just in the space in general, what is the biggest challenge you think you've seen this year as far as within our real estate work?
That's a good question. I think twofold, really. It's kind of, realizing the vision that kind of you laid out for the organization, for the real estate team, and it's been, it's very ambitious, which I like. And it's
Sometimes.
growing the team, and as we get people on board on our team, on the real estate team, but also when we go out to the community and we either get support for projects or we go in front of public bodies or community meetings, translating our vision and communicating our vision to third parties, getting people on our team that when they come on, they see what we're doing and we talk about it, but I think once they get on the team, they realize, wow, you are doing a whole lot.
Right.
And they're impressed by that, but then they're also impressed by why we do it, and they see we're not doing it just for ourselves. We really want to make an impact. So it's really getting that kind of communicating the vision and then acting on that and getting everyone on board to see the vision. And I think as the more and more we do, when people come on board and start to work with us, they see that, they work with us, and they get inspired. And it just it's the time, and so getting people on the bus, getting the community on the bus as we go to meetings, and people say, well, you're asking for what? You want to do this? And yeah, we think we can do that. We think we can do that in Flint.
Right.
And we think we do that in all the communities we serve.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think sometimes people have misconceptions, right, of the work that we do and who it's for and who it helps. And everybody says it's good. We just don't want it in our particular community or neighborhood, whatever it might be. So it's always dealing with misconceptions. And you could say with a lot of division that we have going on right now, just in our country, sometimes it helps, exasperate the issues of people having more division rather than trying to find ways to bring things together. So I definitely appreciate, that comment. Also, now everybody's always been excited to watch the Grand because it's been a very popular or popularized project or community that we have. The project has probably been almost 4 years, 3.5, 4 years in the making from when it was just a thought to, where we're at right now. So as far as the Grand, now it's complete. What has the project meant to you and you feel for the community, for the people that's been engaged with the process?
For me, it's similar to a lot of the projects we work on that are transformational, that take time, is putting in the work in the office at night on the computer, having meetings with you, with our team, all the stuff that we do, and then you see the building, you get your approvals to start, and then you see the building kind of grow up almost like a little kid, right? And then it's finished, and you just think back on all the files that we have, all the spreadsheets that we've done, all the conversations, and it's there.
Yeah.
So personally, that's very satisfying. And then similar to other projects, it kind of I feel like it challenges the norm of what people think is possible again. So when they see it, wow, this project is amazing. It looks amazing from a design standpoint and how it integrates in the community. Mm-hmm. And people say, wow, we can do that in this community, and it becomes less and less surprising for other people because it raises expectations.
Right.
And then operationally, how we set it up to make it homes for people, how we treat people, we make it a community. It's not just like you say, warehousing of people. So as we move forward, it continues to kind of have a physical transformative effect on the city, the community, the neighborhood, and then a transformative effect on the people that live there and that interact with it.
Right. So when you talk about like the grant in general, like when you're talking about we were just talking about the community a little bit, one of the biggest things that I think is people didn't expect to be able to fit what we were able to fit on that site. Sometimes people underestimate, right, the amount of scale or things that you can do. Like we know we could have got a lot more units, on that site. And some people are like, wow, I couldn't believe you were able to space it out, have that type of space, where like you go in a city like Ann Arbor or some other communities, Traverse City, and you'll have that same piece of land that have 100 units on it. But because, we engage the community, talk to them about what they want, we probably would have preferred to go a little larger, but the community wanted us to go smaller, right? So we ended up with 48 units instead of, well over 50, 60 units or, like we originally were thinking to do with that particular site. So I think you're absolutely right, but it also has raised the level of expectation of what can happen on spaces, how sites can be reused, because even talking with some council people and other people in the community, they keep calling, I get text messages, and they just talk about how beautiful it is, how it doesn't even feel like it's in the city of Flint. And they said, man, I didn't know we can have something like that in the city of Flint.
Yeah, it raises the credibility of doing more developments, adding more density. We've been talking about parking for a long time at all the public meetings about what we see in our experience and all the knowledge we have.
Right.
And it's sort of coming to fruition with the new zoning code and with our projects that there's less and less demand for parking minimums, and so that's getting translated. So I think as we move forward, the Grand University adds to that. So when we go to the next development, we can do even more and even make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you so much for the work that you're doing here at Communities First to help us do the work that we all do together to create these equitable, safe places for community. I mean, because we work on, some people just think about the apartments, but we work on community centers, providing space for small businesses. And so we couldn't do the work we do without you and the team. So we appreciate you. I know we're all looking forward to next year and seeing what that will turn out to be. So stay tuned for stuff we got going on in 2024, because it's definitely going to be a ride, because we're building the plane and flying it at the same time.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you and your leadership, and it's great working here and doing these projects.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Glenn Wilson, President and CEO and co-founder of Communities First. I have Renee Kent with me, Director of Special Projects, which she didn't know today, but I was also going to be announcing that she's going to get a title change to be VP of Special Projects. So she wasn't expecting that on camera today. However, I just told her. So other than that, Renee, you have been doing an excellent job in Detroit and killing the market, not just there, but just with the organization in general. And so as we're, ending this year, it's a lot of things that's been happening. So, can you share about, some successes for this year that you're, most proud of, I guess, or some things you want to share?
I will try to, after learning that exciting new news.
There you go.
So I know that we're talking about economic mobility today. And when we think about economic mobility, we're really talking about providing financial freedom, financial wellness, and ultimately financial peace for the individuals and families that we serve. And so I'd like to talk about our virtual programming that we did this year. So not only in 2023, over the past several years, we've been providing virtual programming on a number of topics to make sure that we're providing information and resources to families, because we know that not everybody can attend an on-site or in-person workshop. people have childcare needs, work schedules, transportation issues, and so the fact that we can provide this information and these resources virtually and reach people where they are is really important. And so this year, in particular, being a Show Me the Money Day host entity, we were able to provide nearly 1,000 individuals across the state information on how and where they can file their taxes for free. New information about changes to the tax program, as well as information about attending home buyer training sessions, purchasing a house. And we've done a number of sessions over the years that people have continued to access, continued to watch, and continued to share on topics that we know individuals and families have questions about, but aren't necessarily comfortable in talking to the professionals about. And so I'm particularly excited that we have that platform, and we have a lot of exciting programming coming up in the new year.
I would say what's interesting to me is when you were talking about the online platform, when somebody was at the team meeting, when the whole team didn't meet, and then they said, "Oh, I've been watching you for years before I even joined the team." So we have a famous person on our staff because people know who she is. So I tell her more people know who she is than they know me, because I said when she go out, they've seen her online doing some type of training or teaching, and they're like, "Oh, I already know Renee. Yeah, absolutely. Like, have you ever met her in person?" No, I haven't met. I haven't met her in person. So that's always.
But that was really a heartwarming moment for me, not because they recognized who I was, but because they utilized those resources and shared that information with others in the community. So.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you 100%. So how has CFI supported like economic mobility for low to moderate income families this past year?
So Communities First does a number of things, hosts a number of programs supporting residents and the surrounding community. And so I'd just like to highlight one of those programs. In 2023, we launched our Family Mobility Savings Program, which is a great resource that provides personal one-on-one coaching for those that sign up, so that they can not only create an emergency savings fund, which we know not just in low and moderate income communities, but in communities across the country. And in fact, there are statistics out there that say about 50% of Americans don't have an emergency savings fund. If there's an emergency that comes up, folks don't have, a resource. And so the fact that this is part of the program is an important piece, but it's not the only piece. That personal one-on-one coaching to ensure that participants have access to a resource that will help them meet their not only financial but also their educational goals. And I'll just add, when you think about some of the most successful people in the world, not only do they work hard, but they also surround themselves with people who can support their goals. They have financial planners, they have life coaches, they have nutritionists, and you name it. They have a network that they create to help them meet their goals. And so this program similarly provides personal coaches for those that are involved, which is not something that you typically find in any community, particularly a low and moderate income community, to help individuals not only create that savings, emergency savings cushion, but also to help them, meet their goals so that they're on a more sustainable footing in life.
Right. I mean, it really gets back down to that saying that your network is your network, right? Is that if we're able to provide the services necessary to people to become successful, provide them the wraparound supports that they need, like you see tremendous things that's been happening with some of the individuals that we've been working with
with the Family Mobility Savings Program. So I've been real proud and excited to, hear about that. So I'm glad you actually shared that one. And so, no, I mean, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to like finishing out this year. I'm proud of the work that everybody's been doing. And so I appreciate you just sitting down with me for a few minutes and kind of just telling me, kind of your thoughts and idea of how you thought this year went. But I'm also just really looking forward to next year. So thank you for the work that you're doing. We appreciate you here at the organization and look forward to doing more great work together.
Likewise.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Linehan, the Fund Development and Marketing Manager at Communities First. In my role, I support outreach for our broad programs and capacity building efforts, and I'm sitting down with Ashley Strozier, Family Mobility Coordinator at Communities First, where she supports broad community needs and supports people getting their personal and professional goals. Can you share about some client successes from this year?
Sure. I do a lot. So I would say it's a range of helping families with finding some stability with financial struggles, giving them access and giving them information about additional resources, helping some families find some successes with looking for housing, providing support with educational opportunities. Some families have even taken advantage of signing up with a Reconnect Ed program with my community college and signing up to get an associate's degree or a certificate that will help them find different employment opportunities, providing support with families that have a child that may have an IEP. We've done some research with expungements, had some interactions with front of the court clients. It's a lot. It's been a busy year.
Yeah, and what always amazes me too about the work that you do through Family Mobility Services is that you are able to accomplish so much while also responding to like people's personal and professional goals. And I'm curious, what would you say to somebody who is maybe interested in reaching out about Family Mobility Services and working with you, but is a little bit hesitant?
I would say they should reach out because I'm not here to provide the answers. I'm here to help provide support. So if I don't know a resource, I'm going to go look for it for you so that I can bring it back to you, because I will do the legwork for you. I will make phone calls. I will make life easier for you because you're already dealing with enough. A lot of people don't have additional support or the built-in family support. So that's where I get to step in and fill in the gap and say, hey, you got this. Let's figure it out together. And that's my approach on every single client I meet with.
Yeah. And I've been really lucky to sit by Ashley for years, so I have firsthand witnessed all of her amazingness. And I think that what I also really appreciate about you is that you like always respond with empathy and are genuinely there to help people in our community.
I mean, I'm blessed to have a family that supports me with everything that I do. So being able to provide that same level of support to someone else that isn't as fortunate as me, I take great pride in that. I give it 1,000% because you don't know who's on the other end of that phone call. You don't know what they've been through. And being realistic, sometimes people are just really tired. And if I can give them words of encouragement to let them know and acknowledge, I get it. Life is hard. You've had some serious struggles, but let's not give up yet. Can you give me a try? Let me see what I can do. A lot of times people are looking for help and their phone calls are not getting answered, or their phone calls are not getting returned. They're not getting responses. And I try to make sure I'm not one of those people. Even if it's just a one-time interaction, I try to make sure that my interaction with them is as positive as possible. Even if I'm not able to provide them with a solution, I still want to give them a positive experience.
And then my final question for you is, what has been some of your favorite programs from this year?
As a volunteer, my two top favorite programs are, I would say, the African American Film Series and Movies Under the Stars. I would say those two because with the African American Film Series, I'm being exposed to different documentaries that I never would have come across of. But I like how we go the extra step by including the conversation afterwards to create dialogue. So it's not just us watching a movie. It's an actual learning experience or walking away with new wealth of knowledge that maybe we weren't exposed to before, or maybe we heard a little bit about it, but this film series allows us to go deeper. and it's always family friendly. Anybody can come in and watch of any age, and we're all walking away with new knowledge. With Movies Under the Stars, I love the level of engagement. I love being able to interact and help coordinate with the volunteers and the different tasks and roles, and just to see families out having a good time. And even though we travel to 3 different cities, that's my favorite part, because we get to see families gather in 3 different communities, and they embrace us and we embrace them. Now, my favorite activity as a participant, I would have to say would be going skiing. I've never skied before, and thanks to the large amount of peer pressure in a positive way from Mike, I got on the slopes, I went down several times, and then I fell down. And I kind of knocked over a kid, and then that kid knocked over an older lady, and we all just laid there stuck in the snow, and it was a good day. So I enjoy all the experience I get to have here while at Communities First.
Yeah, and I think that what's cool about like ski days and other programs that are a part of Culture Shock is that you get to be a beginner with other people who are also beginners, and it definitely takes some of the pressure off. And then I think one thing that I just didn't know until I started working here at Communities First is that all of our programs are free and open to community. And so if you follow us on Facebook or social media, always feel free to join us.
Or come skiing with me. It'll be fun. I won't knock you down though.
I'm Essence Wilson, co-founder and chief strategy officer at Communities First. And I'm here with Joel Arnold, who's our planning and advocacy manager, and we're talking about our Engaged Communities work. Joel, tell me about some of the ways that you've engaged the community this year.
Yeah, so I think really through our Engaged Communities work, we've done a couple of great things. We've done community conversations at each of our properties to try and talk with folks who live there to say, you know, how can we always be improving and making sure that we're setting a high standard for people that live at Communities First properties. We launched our Community Candor Live series, which has been great, a way to bring in speakers to talk about critical public policy issues. We did 3 of those this year and excited to expand them in 2024.
What were the topics for those 3?
Yeah, so we had one where we kind of talked about just broader state and local policy issues, collaboration across levels of government. We had one where we focused explicitly on housing development and housing policy. We know it's a crisis in our state and something that we work at here at Communities First every day. And then we also had one where we had the CEO of Consumers Energy come and speak about the future of sustainable energy and investment across our state as we are trying to tackle things like renewable energy goals, climate change, and issues like that.
Yeah. I suppose there's been a lot of policy work, a lot of advocacy, you know, and as we think about different developments and things that we do, you know, what has been your absolute favorite kind of way of engaging the community this year?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I've really loved is getting to work with other organizations in Flint and Detroit in these spaces in broader community development coalitions. You know, the legislature this year has been working on a host of topics, whether that's banning discrimination based on your source of income when you go to rent a property, or providing additional funding for more housing. And we've been able to partner with folks at the Michigan Nonprofit Association, the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan, the Michigan Coalition Against Homelessness, to do advocacy days in the legislature, to go and talk to our representatives, talk about why equitable housing matters. And not just us, right, as staff at Communities First, but also residents at Communities First properties or people who formerly experienced homelessness, to make sure that their voices were heard in Lansing as they're considering these really important issues.
Yeah. Great work on that. Just want to share that if you want to get involved with the programs at Communities First, we are here. In January, you'll see a redesign, relaunch of our website, which will have a calendar of events and activities. Our website is www.communitiesfirstinc.org, and we're always available by phone, 810-422-5358. And then, of course, we can be emailed as well, and we'll make sure that that email address is available. So I just want to conclude by saying that we always have opportunities available at our organization for people to come alongside us in the work that we do. There's always an event and activity, something that's happening, something that's going on. We have our African American film series, Movies Under the Stars. We do our Step Up Pickup competition, which we didn't even get into that, where, you know, we had people pick up tons of trash this year while also getting their steps in. So there's always something fun, interesting, and engaging to do at our organization, and we welcome people to come and join us and to be a part. And obviously, if they are in need of help or assistance, we started our work around housing, but it has broadened to include economic opportunity, other real estate development, business supports, so many things, because really we have a holistic approach, and it's really wraparound services to better our community.
Wow, Essence, this is a wonderful year. And like you said, to listen to all the team members talking about the stories about what's happening at the organization. I think it's great that people can hear from other people, because sometimes just hearing from us, it just gets overwhelming even when we have conversations with people. It's like, you got to have a great team of people to be able to accomplish your thing. So we definitely appreciate our team members. We appreciate our board of directors, all of our funders, private donors, just anybody who, and our volunteers, because we didn't even talk about that, but we have some amazing volunteers, almost over 250 volunteers that volunteer with us on a yearly basis to help us put on a lot of these different activities in the community to make sure that we can provide these high quality family experiences. But in the same vein, as the organization is growing, as we're evolving in 2024, one of the biggest things that I can say is that we need people's support in order to keep the consistency, in order to keep the organization on the train. You got to do maintenance, right? So you can have a vehicle, and you can have a beautiful vehicle, but the thing is, like, you either, it's a Chevy, Toyota, whatever it is, you got to keep putting wheels on it, you got to put gas in it, and you got to do those things. And as an organization, we want to make sure that we are well-oiled organization to be able to meet the needs that we need to meet in the community, because they are evolving each and every day. And there are different ways that you can get involved, which is your time, your talent, and your treasure. If you come and want to spend your time with us as an individual, we definitely would love to see that. Or as a corporation, we have ways for your company to get involved, or a church. So even if you have a fraternity, sorority, whatever it might be, we have a place for you here at Communities First to get you engaged with an individual family. So if it's a family, individual person, and you can bring your kids and volunteer. So when it comes to your time, I mean, there's so many ways that you can get involved with us as an organization, serving on committees to help us to accomplish the work. And then it comes to your treasure. We understand that we want to make sure that we're fiscally responsible as an organization with the contributions that we get. And the reason why we're able to do a lot is because we are always very, very careful with how we spend our resources to make sure that we're doing it in a way that people know that we care about their funding. Someone came to me the other day and said, "Glenn, can we pay this?" I said, "Well, how much is it? Did you ask them to give us a better deal?" So we're always looking for, a better deal, but make sure we're getting quality all at the same time. So it's not always about the cheapest, but it's about
Best value.
Best value. There we go. And just know that when you entrust us with your resources, with your financial resources, that we are really taking care of those things, and you can find the work and you can actually see it tangibly. And then also when it comes to your talent, we're always looking for talented people to come and be a part of our team and to join up with us. So we have a lot of job opportunities that are creating. Communities First has probably grown by almost over 100%, which is, you wouldn't even think about this that's going to be happening over 2024. So we have lots of job opportunities, other committee opportunities for people to get involved. So please visit our website, visit our social media platforms, follow us, but please help us close out the year big, making a contribution or getting involved some type of way, or helping us in the new year. But I can say this, we were really looking forward to closing out this year, but also looking forward to 2024 and what's on the horizon.